This may seem like just an ordinary late-game substitution, but for USC guard Aaliyah Gayles, it's nothing short of a miracle.
Of course, I always had those moments where I can give up until reality hit me. I've been doing this forever, and I didn't want to quit.
What was Aaliyah like growing up? A ball of energy. Jump around, flip, hang off stuff. You can tell she has athleticism in her.
Aaliyah played many sports as a child, but basketball quickly became her passion. And it wasn't long before she proved her dominance.
High school basketball experience was fun, because at first it was nobody come to our games. And then the more we grew and the more players that came in and played with me, it was everybody wanted to come watch.
So when I actually first went to go see her play live, I was like, oh my gosh, she's John Morant. Magnetic, fun, athletic, creative, a lot of bop, a lot of wiggle.
Aaliyah's high school career took off, and she rose to become the 8th-ranked basketball recruit in the 2022 class. Offers came in from across the country, and her talent was on display at the McDonald's All-American game.
Gayles knocks down her first three.
Interest from top schools came pouring in for Aaliyah, but she ultimately chose USC and committed to be a Trojan.
USC was always the one. Out of all the schools that was coming after her, this was the only school we visited.
But less than a month after the McDonald's All-American game, everything changed.
Breaking news now, Aaliyah Gayles is currently recovering at a Las Vegas hospital after 2 emergency surgeries Sunday morning. USC's top recruit of the 2022 class was at a North Las Vegas house party on Saturday when someone opened fire following a fight. The shooter has not been arrested.
I don't ever want to experience a night like that again in my life. For a parent to lose their child, you see it, but you don't know how that feeling is. I know how that feeling is, and my kid is still here.
Aaliyah's dad had texted me, Aaliyah's been shot. And I literally froze, and I had to read it 3 or 4 times, Aaliyah's shooting, we're getting shots up. I was like, no, Lindsay, this says Aaliyah's been shot, at which point I kind of shrieked. I had to gather myself.
And the doctor came out and told us it's 10 or more shots. Ended up being 14 shots, actually.
Every external extremity, every limb was impacted, right? So she was bandaged everywhere, kind of looked like a mummy, so to speak. So I see her in all these bandages, and it was immediately apparent that this horrific event had not impacted her mind and had not impacted her heart and soul.
After surviving over a dozen gunshot wounds, the next thought was whether or not Aaliyah could take the court, if she could ever play basketball again.
If you've seen the x-rays, it's no way somebody's gonna bounce back from that. Even the doctor was like, I don't think it's a chance, but God showed up.
Being able to relearn how to walk again, I feel that was the biggest challenge I had in my life. Once I completed learning how to take a couple more steps, I was I'm for sure coming back.
The rehab process was a continuous grind for Aaliyah, but she remained resilient and slowly built up her strength. Less than 3 months later, she surprised her teammates at practice.
Definitely was overcome with a lot of emotions, and as was the rest of the team. Knowing what she'd been through, and now we're seeing her walking just a couple months later was just a testament to who she is as an individual.
That kind of elevated me and motivated me. It was just a joyful moment.
As stunning as it seemed, walking unaided wasn't her end goal. Aaliyah was still striving to return to the court.
Aaliyah has stayed patient by just setting tangible goals, then just seeing her achieve those goals within the process.
There was a time after a doctor's appointment, he kind of said to her, everything's progressing really well, and said those words I think you're gonna be able to play basketball again.
That's all I wanted to hear. somebody say, like, you're going to be able to play basketball again. I wanted to cry, but it was just like happy tears though.
On November 10th, 2023, Aaliyah officially completed her comeback journey as she checked into USC's game against Florida Gulf Coast.
And there she is, Aaliyah Gayles, checking in for the first time in a USC uniform.
As soon as I checked in, it was like the crowd went crazy. Like I didn't expect that, you know?
This is what she dreamed of, man, to get on that court.
Final 10 seconds will trickle down under Aaliyah Gayles' watch as USC wins their home opener.
And just a few games later, she scored her first points, a 3 for AG3.
Steps into a 3, it's her first bucket of her career.
Now Aaliyah will prepare for her sophomore season. She continues to be a positive light for her family and teammates.
If I have a moment of doubt of, can I get through this, or this is challenging, then you look over and you look at AG, who had to relearn how to walk. It just really puts things in perspective and gives you that extra encouragement.
Her ability to remain positive and grateful in the face of extreme awfulness is a life lesson for me that I will never lose.
I'm beyond proud. She's alive, bro. I can care less about her basketball. She's still alive. She's still here with me, so.
I don't want to be remembered as, the girl who got shot. I want to be remembered as the Aaliyah at USC that graduated with a degree.